I built 5 golf tees that should not exist. And in this video, we're gonna show you all of them and we're gonna rank them from worst to best. See, I just bought myself a 3D printer and I thought it'd be a fun idea to try to make my own golf tees that are either fun, funny, or that will help me improve my golf game. Without further ado, let's get into the first tee. So first up, we have the tripod tee. So the reason I wanted to design this tee was because sometimes when I put a normal golf tee in the ground, they fall over, I can't get the ball to stay on because it's a little lopsided one way or another. So I was thinking to myself, how can I make it more stable? And of course, I was like, well, I'll just make one that looks like a tripod. My first design didn't work out too well because I made the base where the actual tee part that holds the golf ball, I made that part a little too skinny where it connects to the 3 legs of the tripod. And well, needless to say, it really didn't work out. So after redesigning it a little bit more, I came up with the final product. So after redesigning it and making the base a little more thick where it connects from the legs to the actual tee part, it actually came out really well. But that is the tripod tee. Okay, so the next tee that I created, I call it the belt tee. So the reason I built this tee was because I saw these golf tee clips that you could put onto your belt that hold normal golf tees. And I figured, why have 2 separate things when you could just combine them? And so that's exactly why I came up with the idea of putting a belt clip onto a golf tee. Now at first, I wanted to use a round golf tip for the top, but that didn't work out too well after printing it. I think it was just because of how it was designed. As I've been using my 3D printer more, I've realized that not all products print very well. So you have to redesign your products so that it can lay flat onto the printing bed. And so that's why I changed up the tip to be more of a modern style kind of tee that just props the tee up with 4 different corners. I'm actually really proud of how this tee came out. It's very durable and it looks pretty cool, and it's very incognito when it's on your belt. Now the one issue I have with this one is that the tip of the belt kind of stabs into you. So that may be something I need to redesign in the future, but overall, I'm really happy with this tee. So the third golf tee that I designed is one of my personal favorites, and it's a shot glass tee, or what I like to call the tee shot. So what this golf tee is, it's a shot glass. However, when you flip it upside down, the base is actually the tip of a golf tee. So you can put a golf ball on top of it and you can tee off after you take your shot. Basically, you take your shot and then you take your shot. So the hardest part about this tee was actually designing it for it to actually work as a golf tee, but also hold enough liquid that a normal shot glass holds. So I had to go through a couple of designs because if I made the tee too tall, then it obviously wouldn't work for a golf tee because you'd be teeing off way too high. So I had to find the sweet spot, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. So the 4th tee that I made is one I like to call the gateway tee. So I designed this tee to look like the outline of a driver so that you have to have the perfect swing in order to hit your ball. So this one's definitely more of a joke tee, but I thought it would be really funny, and it's kind of like a training aid for your golf swing. So I had to use Tinkercad, which just has basic shapes. I really had to get creative and cut around pre-existing shapes to make the head of a driver. That's why it has a lot of sharp angles, but overall it came out really well. So the biggest flaw that I noticed immediately with this tee is that the part where you actually put the golf ball on, I had it built in to the actual outline of the driver. When you hit the ball, you're going to hit that tee as well, and that's just gonna knock over the entire outline of the tee anyways, so it's really gonna be hard to tell if you had the perfect swing or not. So in my redesign, I just made a little alignment hole where you could put a real tee in there. You could basically put a golf tee right there, so I'll show you. Take a golf tee, put it in the ground like this, and then that golf tee just slides right in there. So that way, when you do have the perfect swing, you hit the ball, you hit the tee, and the tee can still fall over, but that gateway tee is gonna stay in place so you'll know that you hit the perfect swing. So that is the gateway tee. And then last but not least, we have the screw tee, or what I like to call a greenkeeper's worst nightmare. So I thought of this tee when I was just exploring some 3D prints, and I came across one of those umbrella holders that you screw into the ground, and I was like, man, what a horrible idea for a golf tee. And so that's exactly why I made it. So how this tee is designed is that it just has this giant screw that you screw into the ground, and I designed a hole at the top so you can put something through that hole so that you can get even more leverage to screw it into the ground. And then when it is in the ground, all it looks like is just the top of a golf tee, and nobody has any idea that there is way more beneath the surface. Designing this golf tee was a little bit easier than I expected it because I actually used a previous design that somebody had made for this umbrella holder. However, I just cut the top of it off and I put on the golf tee part. So although I would never recommend you actually use this tee, of course I had to try it out to see if it worked. It worked really well. I was able to screw it in a little bit by hand, but then of course I needed some more leverage as it started getting deeper and the ground started getting harder. And after screwing it in, I mean, it really did look like just like a normal golf tee sticking in the ground. And I even tried to pull this tee out, and again, it really stayed in the ground. It was hard to get out. And that was exactly why I designed it. So if you hate your local golf course, or that manager was giving you some attitude when you were getting your tee time, I mean, use this golf tee if you really just hate them. All right, that was all of our tees, and now it's time to rank them from worst to the best. Starting off with the one that I think is the worst, I would say is the tripod tee. I really wasn't a big fan of this tee. I thought it was a great idea, but in practice, all the legs kind of flared out from the middle, and so it didn't stick in the ground very well. And just overall, it's just kind of stupid. It's kind of dangerous too. Like, where are you gonna even put this thing in your bag where it's gonna not poke a hole in something? And I feel like it's just gonna break very easily. So even if one of these legs breaks, then I mean the tee is just unusable. I mean, that's no different from a normal golf tee, but this is not a normal golf tee. So I just think this one was overall the worst design. Now the second worst golf tee, that's not quite the worst, I would say is the Gateway tee. I mean, I didn't even want to swing at this thing because I knew I was gonna hit it. So obviously this tee is really just for jokes, but if you were to actually use this thing, I mean, it's the most impractical thing in the world. Why would you ever do this to yourself? You're probably just gonna cause more damage than good that it actually does. So this is definitely the second worst one. So the tee that's right in the middle, the middle, that I would say isn't exactly the best or isn't exactly the worst, I would say is the shot glass tee. In theory, it's really good. I like it. I think it's really cool. It's probably one of my personal favorites. But when you take your shot, you have to flip it upside down on the ground, and then it's gonna get kind of dirty. And there is also a chance that these are gonna break. The whole point of the tee is to hold liquid. So if there's any cracks or leaks, then it's kind of unusable. So I really like this idea. And if you're okay with it being a disposable shot glass tee, that's great. So that's why I kind of put it right at 3. It's cool, it's great, but it's just kind of in the middle for me out of all the other options. Now the second best tee, right before it made the number 1 spot for me, I'm gonna put the Greenkeeper's Nightmare. So I put this thing at number 2 is because I had so much fun designing this tee, but I mean, when am I ever really gonna use this? It's so impractical. You need like another tool to help you put it in the ground. And although I love the concept of like basically getting revenge on your golf course, when would I actually ever use this? You can't destroy someone's tee box. They could probably come after you if they found out that you left this at their tee box. So, although I really like this thing, I had to put it at the number 2 spot. And so that leaves the best tee that I designed, actually to my surprise, is the belt tee. I love how this thing came out, and it really surprised me because I thought it was just a really stupid idea, but it actually turned out to be pretty cool. So the reason I put this at number 1 is the more I used it, the more I was actually a huge fan of this tee. Because when I actually go golfing, I'm always putting my dirty tees in my pocket, and then I'm trying to get that tee out of my pocket. Sometimes it stabs me anyways. It's dirty. If I have a golf glove on, it's hard to get that tee out. And just having this on my belt was actually really useful. So that's why I put the belt tee at number 1. However, I'm really interested to hear what you guys have to think about these. What was your favorite? And out of all these tees, do you have any like design improvements that you would add to this? So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, please like the video, and I'm going to be coming out with more kind of fun 3D golf ideas in future videos. So make sure you follow the channel so you can see all those videos when they come out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm out.